Welcome back, everybody, to the Pick and Roll live stream. Let's get the show going for today. We have 2 game 3s on the slate for today. We do have a free pick on the way, but if you guys are enjoying the content on this channel, make sure to subscribe and drop a like if you find yourself enjoying this particular stream along the way. As always, we're going to start off with a recap of the previous day's plays. We're going to go into the official pick for today's show, and then we're going to talk likely about the Celtics and Sixers game 3, which is beckoning tonight, and a little bit as well of the reaction for the Warriors and the blowout win against the Los Angeles Lakers. So unfortunately, the blowout was the blowout was the key reason of which this bet does not win. Anthony Davis minutes struggle. He also, I don't know if he would have hit this one anyways. And the plus 15.5 for the Lakers was nowhere near in the end. Draymond did get his assist, but it is another losing play here. Playoffs have been a big struggle so far this season. So let's go to Pips. What about this play? I mean, obviously it's a blowout, but where did this one go wrong, do you think?
They started Jacob Green and changed a lot. I expected less minutes for Kevin Looney, but I didn't expect him to go from 32 minutes to 12 minutes. And then them playing such a high volume on small ball. So that's the reason. Davis had 18 potential. 18 rebounding chances, which he usually has. When he has 18 rebounding chances, he has 11 or 12 rebounds on average. So he was on pace to cover. If this wasn't a blowout, it's just poor rebounding game, poor game overall. This is completely different game from the game 1 and from the series against the Grizzlies. But as I mentioned, the team's favorites at home that lost first game are 19-2 against the spread over the last 21 games. So I even said it on the stream and then went historically against it. I mean, if Golden State Warriors started Draymond Green and Kevon Looney, I don't think we saw the same thing we saw last night. But that I never even thought about Michael Green starting in the playoffs.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Yeah, it was surprising. I knew they needed that, but I never thought like Michael Green. He was so poor so far this season, so I was like, okay, I'm not going to even think of that as a possibility.
Yeah,
and yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, to a degree, I guess it worked. They had him in the corner. The Lakers kind of dared him to shoot, and he was hitting his shots. So we'll give a little bit of credit to Steve Kerr for making the decision because evidently it worked. Despite the first quarter, it was promising. AD had like 4 rebounds. It was a close game. Actually, Lakers were up by 7. Draymond Green had 3 assists pretty quickly into the second quarter. That it all obviously fell apart and just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And fell apart. And the playoffs have definitely been a struggle on the show so far. So we're looking to rectify that as well as possible tonight. Thankfully, Showtime. I was doing my live stream yesterday. We did get the under live in that game, which was just an absolute smash. It wasn't even close in the end. So hopefully, of you there, that made up a bit. But for the show purposes here, let's try to finish the week strong. We do have an official pick for this one to try and get this one back on track for the playoff season. It is in the Suns-Nuggets game. I was talking to Pips pre-show yesterday, and he was mentioning that he definitely likes some plays for this one, and we are ready to lock in for the Nuggets and Suns game. We have Nikola Jokic and Kevin Durant featuring once again, but we have Jokic over 23.5 points and Durant 25+ points, and that is -110 at DraftKings. So similar play to what we had, I believe it was for game 1 in this series. But Pips, what do you like about Jokic and Durant tonight, and why do you want to take them on the same game parlay?
So first off, I'll say Jokic, when the first game, they won pretty comfortable, and Nikola had 24 points. So he was a winner in a game where they won comfortable. Mm-hmm. And he didn't score. He I think scored only 2 points in the fourth quarter. He was pulled out with 5 minutes left. Easy game. And he still covered. Second game, they were down until like last 6 minutes of the game. Entire game they were down, and we saw very aggressive Nikola Jokic. He took 30 field goal attempts and scored 39 points. I don't think they changed anything on defensive side because even with Nikola scoring 39 points, they managed to hold Denver Nuggets under 100 points. I think they are very happy with the way they did on defense, but they scored 87 points. So now they are going home. There is no Chris Paul, but they are going home, and Denver is completely different team on the road.
Yeah.
So I do expect some probably Suns making the game close or even winning. This is the time. It will be very difficult without Chris Paul, but let's see how does Denver look on the away on the road against a good team. Wolves were a decent team and they still lost one game, but Suns are better team. And let's see how Suns play without Chris Paul. I think he didn't help them in the first two games at all. He made the defensive part of the court way easier for the Denver. They were just okay. We'll just drop coverage against Chris Paul, make him make shots, and that's it. And that helped their defense, Nuggets defense. So let's see in this game. So if it's a close game or Suns are up, Jokic will be very aggressive and he'll score a ton of points and he'll get single coverage again. And he showed time in that you can guard him one-on-one. But he had only first game 5 assists, second game 5 assists, and I think that's their plan to stop him for creating easy shots for others, and they did that successfully. So on the road, I think Jokic usually scoring way more on the road because they are worse on the road, so they need him to score more. So that's the plan with this one. And the second part of this band, obviously KD. So first game, KD scored 29 points, 19 field goal attempts. And that was the game where he didn't score a single bucket. In the fourth, it was a blowout. So he scored 29. Second game, he took 27 field goal attempts in the second game and scored 24 points. So he was 1 point short of this, even though he shot 27 times. I'll just read some numbers. Last 11 straight, so he scored 30 plus points in the 11 straight games where he took over 20 field goal attempts, and he took 27 in the last game. I'll just say 35, 33, 44, 43, and so on, so on. So over when he last 11 games when he shot over 20 field goal attempts, he averaged like 35, 36 points, which is crazy, and he's usually very efficient. I don't think we ever seen, besides that Celtics series game where KD struggles, especially shooting 2 for 12 from 3, and some were great looks. They showed on the ball on Booker, and they double team Booker so much, and Booker hit some cross passes to wide open KD, and he missed every shot he had. So I think we see same, maybe even more aggressive KD in this game. No one is coming back from 0-3, so this is the time. KD is made for this game, especially when he gets single coverage. And I'm pretty sure if he gets 25 or more field goals, and he had 27 in the last game, he's covering this in like 90% of the games. It's KD, so I like these two combined. If you don't get a blowout, this should be covered. But also, if it's a blowout win somehow for the Suns, we'll get very crazy aggressive. Jokic, and he can cover this in 3 quarters. And if we have Suns blowing out Denver, it will probably be due to KD having very efficient game. So I think we are cover this unless Denver blow out away, and that didn't happen almost the entire season against weaker opponents. So I think we are in a good spot here for these two to cover.
Yeah, what I've liked about Jokic so far in the playoffs has been like in the regular season where he's a bit more passive, kind of like allows his teammates to get going. In the playoffs, he has firmly been understanding that he's the best player and he needs to take over. So
Yeah,
from that perspective, that fits the bet really well for sure.
yeah. Also, first 3 games into the playoffs, 3 wins. I will say easy wins, almost all wins by 9 or more points. He had averaged 14 field goal attempts in the first 3 games, so he was okay slowly. Then they lost 1 game, and over the last 4 games, he averaged 26 field goals. So from 14 in the first 3 games to 26 in over the last 4 games. So yeah, if you get Jokic aggressive, and this is the spot you wait entire season to play in those kind of games, and he's showing up big time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Completely agree. So love that for this spot here. That is the official pick for today. We'll touch briefly on the Celtics and 76ers game coming up tonight as well. A little bit of game 3 predictions here. Going to pull up the lines for this one. So pretty close one. Even though the Boston Celtics are playing away from home, they are favored by 2 to 2.5 points, depending where you look. Mostly 2.5s all over the board. If you're line shopping, you can get also -2 at Caesars. Good opportunity to plug our sponsor here, BetStamp. BetStamp app allows you to shop through all the lines to find the best prices every single time. But in order to get those best prices, you need to be signed up to as many sports books as possible in your area. If you're going to sign up for a new sports book, please do so with our affiliate link in the description below, betstamp.app/theboard. Link is in the description for that one as well. You're going to sign up for a sports book anyways. You may as well do it through our affiliate link and support the show. Allow us to continue to make content over here. But let's go to Pips for predictions on this one. You kind of want to say, I'm assuming you want to see the 76ers pull through in this series because of your, you like James Harden, you're a fan of James Harden, but how do you see the Sixers responding today? And what adjustments do you see them making to combat the Celtics and get this game 3 in order?
So I'll first comment on the lines. I think -2.5 is fair for Boston Celtics. I think they will be slight favorite in both of these games, and I hope we get one win from the Celtics and one win from the Sixers. So we have 2-2 after 4 games.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping for, and I think that's very likely to happen over the next 2 games. I do think. Can you just pull out the numbers? I think 214 is a bit low. I think we can expect. I would say this line probably at 218 or 217. So I think this is a bit lower on the line, because last game, so first game, we had without Embiid, we had 89 pace in the first game without Embiid, and the second game with Embiid, we had 19-3 pace. So we had 4 higher pace with Embiid playing than without him. And last game we saw like 208 points, so 6 points under this line, while CNC didn't make any shot. They missed everything in the second half. So I think this line is a bit too low for me personally.
Interesting. So
yeah,
food for thought on that one. Yeah, based on that game 2 being a blowout and having so many points still, this one does seem maybe a touch lower than I guess it could be. So that's an interesting lean. But do you think, well, what will the Sixers have to do here to come out of this? They're going to be slight underdogs, it seems, for both games. What are they going to have to do to come out of these 2 games with a split or even potentially winning both games? What do you think is going to be the biggest change they need to make from Doc Rivers? PJ Tucker?
I think that it should be less minutes for PJ Tucker, less PJ Tucker with Joel Embiid, more PJ Tucker with Joel Embiid out. More aggressive Embiid. He was too slow on offense last game. He was great in defense, I would say, especially in the first half. I just want to see him more involved and being quicker to he was taking way too much time to settle. And we saw in the first game, Harden was very successful with pick and rolls with Reed, who was rolling to the rim. And second game, Embiid just kind of took Harden out of the game offensively, and I think they need to work together a bit more pick and rolls with without PJ Tucker in the corner. So
Yeah.
more pick and rolls without PJ Tucker with good. They need to make good spacing and play pick and roll with Embiid and Harden way more. Harden needs to be more aggressive, of course, and Embiid need to not be just more aggressive, but a bit more quicker to decision. Because first game we saw Harden 2 for 14, but most of it was like they will try and run something, they'll give up, and then Harden will have the ball with 5 seconds on the shot clock, and he will need to take step back three, very
Yeah.
difficult shot. So that was kind of a killer. So I just think they need to make very better job on offense. The defense was okay. I think this was a shooting variance too for a bit for Celtics, not high enough because they missed. Horford was like 1 from 8 from wide open threes. So I think that's they did okay. I mean, Embiid is always in the drop zone, so Horford will have his threes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think they need to give up on Tucker on offense and just spread out and play pick and rolls, and that's it.
Right. Kind of what you were saying yesterday as well. I mean, I'm super intrigued for this series, excited for the game threes that we have tonight. Chance here in the chat says Celtics in 5. I'm not so sure about that. We'll see on that one. But I think Celtics will ultimately win this one in 6, if not 7. But I'm hoping it goes to 7 because this can be an electric series, knowing that you'll be the massive favorite in the conference finals if you get through this one. This is the big one that these two teams have to get through, with all due respect to the Heat and to the New York Knicks. But that will do it for us today for our Friday show. Let's recap that official pick for you guys today. Hopefully getting us back on track, sending us into the weekend as winners here. It is in, not this one. It is in the, not this one either. It's in the Nuggets and Suns game. It is over 23.5 points for Nikola Jokic. And it's over 25 plus points, or 25 plus points, for Kevin Durant on the alternate line. That is -110 at DraftKings, was also at BetMGM at the time. So you can grab it on either of those. And that will do it. Thank you again, guys, for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel. We'll have some more content coming next week. I'm going to have an educational video coming out in the next week or so. So get subscribed, rate, review 5 stars, and we will see you Monday, hopefully celebrating a win over here. But make sure you're following us, stay up to date with all the shows here at the Board HQ. See you next time.